Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Cam6578, and in today's video, I am joined with CyberShark from House Divided Arc, and we're going to tell you guys basically everything you know from levels 50 through 59 as the second part of the Zero to Hero series. CyberShark, what do you have to say?
Hey, I'm glad to join you guys, and I'm going to talk a little bit about mods today. So, over in the left-hand side of your screen, you will see some mod battles, and you'll see mod challenges. And the mod battles unlock the mod challenges. So I'm going to go through each one, give you a little bit of an introduction to each, what they're for, and all these good things. But essentially at level 50, you get these things called mods, and they do some really big game-changing stuff for your character. If you have mods and your opponent doesn't, you're probably going to win. So it's a real big deal. In your first mod battle, you will see health mods. Health mods are really, really useful. Super good for tanks, and honestly, they're probably going to be a thing you're going to farm for quite a while, so you're kind of stuck with it.
So, in addition to health mods, basically, they have 4 different, when you level them up to 15, they have 4 different stats of a variety of things, such as offense, defense, speed, etc., etc. So, Cyber, keep going with defense.
So the second set of mods you'll get is defense. Defense are also fairly decent for tanks, depending on the type of tank. Basically, what it does is offense and defense kind of work together. So, say if you have 100 offense and you have 100 defense, essentially you do 0 damage. So they kind of balance each other out. You get defense mods here. Some people farm them, not too many. And you have critical damage mods. So critical damage is whenever you do an attack and it turns yellow and does a little bit more damage than your regular attack. What critical damage mods do is it increases the amount of bonus you get to your regular attack. So let's say, for instance, normally you do 100 damage, and when you do critical, maybe you get like 125 or something. You can then use critical damage to increase it. Sometimes it goes up to like 200%. So critical damage mods are definitely really useful for a lot of your attackers. It's where a lot of your damage comes from. And then next after that would be the critical chance mods. Critical chance mods increases your chances of actually doing critical damage. If you don't have critical chance, basically you will always just do the regular, flat, boring, whatever damage you're doing, that 100 or whatever you're doing every single hit. Critical chance does actually have a huge secondary benefit though. So in the first series, Cam recommended using Lando, and Lando is a great character. One of his specials, the AoE attack, actually is based on critical chance, and the secret to that is if you get at least 2 critical hits on the enemy team, your next AoE will be increased in damage. And so critical chance just increases the chances of you getting more critical crits, and it increases that, which is great. Your fifth one is tenacity up, or tenacity. And tenacity is really useful for resisting negative effects. So in the game, there are things like debuffs and things like speed down, or you need to take jump time, or basically any of the red boxes above people's heads. So what tenacity does is essentially it resists being debuffed. And so that's the opposite of potency, which we'll talk about later. But it works kind of like offense as well. So, if you have, 100 potency, and then you're attacking someone with 50 tenacity, you will, most likely actually pass and you'll debuff them. There is a 15% chance that you will fail no matter what, but other than that, that's kind of how tenacity works. And then number 6 is your offense mods. Offense mods, as I said earlier, are the opposite of defense mods. There's certain teams that are really useful. For example, Nihilist-led teams, they can't crit. So crit damage and crit chance are absolutely useless. So offense becomes really good, essentially just increases damage. And the 7th one is potency. That one allows you, again, to add more debuffs. So, for instance, things like Palpatine, he's going to do a shock thing. And so just 2 things, there's like the stun portion, and then there's like the little shocking debuff as well. So potency helps apply that type of stuff. And the last one you have is speed. Speed essentially makes your characters work a whole ton faster. It is based on percentage. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be that effective as a set in general. Generally, because your mods do have all those other secondary stats that Cam mentioned earlier, secondary speed generally tends to add up a lot faster and be more effective in reality than speed mods. So speed mods generally not that great, but in reality they could be pretty good.
Yes, so guys, if you have good secondary speed mods, then maybe your Boba Fett can go first and ability block everybody in arena, which helps out a lot by taking away their abilities so that you can basically take down their team with them only being able to use basic abilities. I do have in the link of this video a playlist for all the mod challenges that I've done, so you know exactly how far you need to level up each faction of characters in order to complete and 3-star each separate mod challenge. So I do recommend you check that out. That is a very end game scenario, but when you get there you will be able to kind of plan out for the future, which is really nice. So in addition, big part of 50 through 59 is just keeping up the pace of like arena and farming your characters. You're not going to have anybody 7 stars yet, but you will. Just keep on grinding. That's like the big part of everything. Just keep on grinding. There's going to be a lot of events, especially this summer, and you know, whenever you're watching this, there's always stuff going on, such as marquee events where EA lets you try out a character for a certain level of stars, such as 2-star, 3-star, such as right now Ahsoka Fulcrum, where we can play with Ahsoka Fulcrum and fight other people and get shards first so we can unlock her at a low level for fun. We've got flash events, which are new. They kind of appear randomly, and they're really fast, hence the name Flash. They show up at like 10 a.m. local time, 2 p.m., 6 p.m., and 10 p.m. Remember, guys, this is all local time, so you can bank on that. And then we've got legendary events with Palpatine being one of the characters you can unlock with Rebels, R2-D2 that you can unlock with Empire characters, and Yoda, who you can unlock with Jedi characters. But Cyber and I both agree that you don't really need to go for one specific character. You'll kind of unlock Palpatine as you go with the Rebel route, and you'll work your way up to get R2-D2, but I don't recommend going on a tangent to get characters that are Empire just to unlock R2-D2, or to get Jedi just to unlock Yoda, as they are not nearly as good, and that's kind of a tangent route to what you want to be doing. So hopefully you're dominating a little bit of Galactic War. It is a really tough thing, but if you can get your Biggs to 6 stars, that would be really handy for the upcoming video about ships, because Biggs is he has a really great ship, and he's a really good character, especially when you begin to unlock Wedge later on in the next part of the series. And guys, if you haven't already noticed, based on the background, you can use your allies to finish out those mod battles, so make sure you have good allies as well, and you can use those characters from the events like I talked about earlier, like Ahsoka Fulcrum. Chip Wexler is using her in the background of this footage, which is really useful for finishing out those mod battles, because that gives you access to the mod challenges earlier on, and those mod challenges help you get better mods than everybody else, so you can outcompete everybody else in your arena, thus ranking up, getting more crystals, getting more shards per day than everybody else, which is wonderful. Another big thing to note is that in the guild store there's a rotation, so Jyn Erso will not always be available, but hopefully you'll have her to 4 stars, maybe 3 stars. All I can say is may the RNG be with you. It's all kind of random, and like I said earlier about guilds in the last video, you need to join a good guild. Definitely look at the alliance in the description of the video. There's a link as well, and just get in a good guild for beginners, and hopefully you can do tier 3 raids, maybe with a Jyn Erso led team, and just keep going through those mod battles, and you'll work your way up. Without a doubt, you'll be doing good things. I highly recommend putting crit chance on Lando, and for more specific guides in the description, there's also a big long 40-minute video by Warrior from Team Instinct about mods. Cyber, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, also about mods, like the mod challenges, if you can only do health mods, do them. They're definitely going to be helpful, especially if you can get 5-dot mods. 5-dot mods are definitely better. Think of dots as like the equivalent of stars, so they go from 1 to 5 as opposed to 1 to 7 for characters. But recently there was a change, so you get 100% drops on mods, so that's actually huge. It used to be I could farm for a whole week and I might get like one mod that I actually really enjoyed, and I could spend like a whole day and all my cantina energy, I might get like 3 mods or something, and it was pretty terrible. So for all you guys that are starting out new, you guys have a good 100% drops, and that's super good.
Yeah, so that is a game changer, guys, and take it from earlier players, it was a pain. It was honestly like getting shocked by Darth Sidious on the Death Star 2 and watching your dad just do nothing for like 30 seconds. It was awful. Flashback to that real fast.
Your feeble skills are no match for the power of the dark side. You have paid the price for your lack of vision.
But anyway, so guys, that's pretty much it for today's video. If you enjoy it, drop a like. It's kind of a weird time frame, 50-59, but it's also probably one of the most important things. As you make good changes with your mods and you understand mods better than anybody else in your arena, you'll be able to make a big jump in your arena shard, and hopefully get your arena rank up like a lot, so you can get more crystals and farm characters faster than everybody else and outcompete everybody else. So guys, that's it for me. That's it from CyberShark. Peace out, guys.